What's up, everyone, and welcome to the season finale of the Christian J Show. Whew. It has been a long season, 20 episodes, 10 TV show reviews, and 10 movie reviews. It's been a long season. Had to take a break, but I am back. I've been back for a while, but came back, was ready to get through and get to this point of this podcast. Because tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of the Christian J Show. And I honestly can't thank y'all enough for listening, for sharing, for liking this podcast. And even though this is a season finale, you will get a special treat tomorrow for the 1 year anniversary. So just consider this. We just consider next episode a bonus one. Because honestly, I'm just so full. I'm grateful and thankful that I'm able to do what I love, do what I want, and just be myself and be who I want to be with this podcast. So, thank you, and let's dive into this last movie review of the season. So, today's movie review, the final movie review of the season, is Justice League: The Snyder Cut. Now, when I tell you, I have multiple opinions about this movie. Now, y'all probably heard in past episodes that I was going to be talking a bunch about this movie come the season finale. Yes, I will. Buckle up, because it might be a long one. Now, let me tell you, this movie was long as ever. And normally, when I'm watching a movie, I don't plan to sit there for almost like 3 hours, basically, or 4 hours. I don't. I really don't. Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut was too long and just dark, basically. And to be honest, I'm glad James Gunn has taken over. He is now in control of the DCEU, because that is not the Superman we all know. That is not the Superman we all know. The Superman we know is a Boy Scout. The Superman we know, he might be Superman, but he's Superman. If you get what I put that emphasis on the man, he's still a man at the end of the day. The big blue Boy Scout, he's still a man at the end of the day. He's kind of a human, basically. He still has emotions. He still has compassion and love for everybody. That person that Snyder had was basically Superman. See, I put emphasis on the super. That person that Snyder had was Superman. Man. Now, we know that this movie was 4 hours and 2 minutes long. Now, I know everybody says something about their attention span, but baby, my attention span was going through the roof. It was like, what are you doing? Because I remember I watched it. I was watching it while I was at work one day. Because I remember when it came out. And I remember exactly when it came out. And I was at work. Well, no, I didn't see it until I did. I saw it before. Good movie. It was a okay, good movie to me. The first time I watched it because I wanted to see his version of Justice League. I wanted to see his version. I said, well, you know what? I like the other version. I want to see his version. When I first watched it, it was a good movie. But then I watched it again. I watched it 3 more times. The third time I watched it with my mom and grandma. And when I tell you, my grandma went to sleep on that movie, and we was 2 hours in. We started watching it around about 5 or 6. Yeah. We started watching it at 6 o'clock. And you know how long that is? Because you got to go through all of the commercials because I was not about to pay them high prices for HBO Max. So that made it even longer. So we started at 6, 7, 8, 9. And add one more. 10. We did not get done with that movie until 10 o'clock. Actually, 10:15. My grandma fell asleep at, I want to say, 7:38. 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Yeah. I forced myself to stay up and watch it again. And when we got done, I remember my mama told me, said, don't you ever put that movie on again. That was entirely too long. They know better than to make a movie like that long. What we watching all of that for? Why are we watching all of that for? What was the point of that? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what was the point of all of that. But let me go ahead and get into what I need to talk about. Superman. He made him too dark and made him more super than man. He was too edgy. It was like we wasn't even watching Superman. We was watching somebody who felt like they were a god. Because we all know Superman has god-like powers, but he doesn't portray himself as a god. But this Superman right here, I felt like I was watching someone who has, how I want to put it, someone who basically loved the power and didn't have any compassion. The Superman I saw was almost villain-like. And do with that as you must. Now, when I say that Superman was almost villain-like, it was not the Superman we know. Not like Christopher Reeve, not like Brandon Ruth, or what does that mean? George Reeves was George Reeves. It's either Reeves or Reeve for George. I already said Christopher Reeve. I say Brandon Ruth, Ralph, one of them. Tom Welling, and that's about it. Because at the time, we did not have David C. I was gonna butcher his name up anyway, so that's how David C. We did not have him. We had a DC, but we're not talking about him. He is irrelevant. He's the worst of the Superman. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Oh, we all know. And when it was announced this time that we were getting a new Superman and David C. I want to say it's Cornswit. I think it is Cornswit. David C. I'm gonna just keep going with that because I feel like I'm gonna butcher his name up anyway. So when it was announced that he was gonna be the new Superman, I remember every Cavill fan going ballistic. Like, first of all, when y'all the ones that was hating on Man of Steel, and y'all was hating on the Justice League Snyder cut, like y'all were just saying he did not make a good Superman. Now all of a sudden, since we got a new Superman now you're all of a sudden on the Cavill wagon. Like, for real, I'll be the first to say I did not like him as Superman. To me, he did not portray Superman the right way, and that's probably not on him. That's on the writers. But even though he's still acting, he did not exude like Superman energy. To me, he didn't make me believe that he was Superman. He made me believe that he was super, but he was not man. If you get what I'm saying. Like, I was Man of Steel. Justice League. Now the regular Justice League, the colorful version. I always call that one the colorful version, because this version right here I thought my brightness was turned down. I had to make sure I had it up. I'm like, I know my brightness turned up. It was turned up. It was just too dark. The colorful version of the Justice League, I kind of felt like he was kind of like Superman, like both at a point. He was still Superman. He was still super, but he had a little bit more man to him. Like, he was more, I want to say, kind of like human a little bit. Like, he had some more emotions, basically. Snyder Cut, no. There was no emotions nowhere. Nothing. Like, when I tell you, I was like, who we watching? To me, he did not fight for truth and justice, which is the ultimately what Superman stands for. Now, all that slow motion was overused. It was overused. It felt like I was watching a music video. I gotta feel like I was watching a music video. You know how in the music video there's a slow motion scene and the track is playing over it? You know, the pointless minute long scenes could have cut the length down a little bit if it was shot at normal speed. Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice were there was slow motion in that too. But to be honest, it was not as bad as it was in Justice League Snyder Cut. It was not as bad as Justice League Snyder Cut. Like, I can handle the slow motion in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice and Man of Steel, but no. Now, the plot makes less sense than the original. His version of the Justice League was too bloated, and the story made no sense, especially compared to the 2017 cut, which they told a pretty cohesive story. Now, throughout the DCEU timeline, it doesn't align with his version if it's not canon, but it does fix some of the plot holes from the theatrical release. You know, like Aquaman's armor and Trident and the parademons. Yeah. Yeah. The movie was too serious. It was too serious. They argued, even though they really didn't argue in the 2017 version, the colorful version. They really didn't argue like that. They argued more in this version than that version. Then all the unnecessary slow motion. Then the 4-hour movie is full of fan service, basically. Superman wearing the black suit, even though there's no reason why. And too many scenes unrelated to the plot. And I think his name is Weldon. Joss Weldon. Well, Joss W., the director of the colorful version, the 2017 version, did a better job in half of the runtime. Now, even though that movie has some criticisms too, but it's not as bad as the Snyder Cut. Child. Then you had that woman that can't act. She made me mad in the first one and the second one. Well, no, the first one she was okay. To me. I don't know how she was to all of y'all. Second one, now her fight scene in that second one was like amazing. Like, that's probably one of the best scenes in that movie to me. To me, Wonder Woman's fight scene in the bank compared to the 2017 version, I choose the Snyder Cut version to a point. But if we want to compare, I would lean more towards Snyder Cut version. One on the fight scene in the bank. But getting back to her, child, Kal-El, no, girl. Everyone is calling him Clark or Superman, and you want to talk about Kal-El? Please, like, you're just a mere presence. I don't know, but it's just a mere presence that just bothers me. Like, I don't like her. And it has nothing to do with her being on those people's sides. Y'all know the whole Israel and Gaza situation. It's not because of her being on Israel's side. It's just the fact that she can't act. It's the fact that she keeps getting cast in things that she knows she cannot pull. Like, seriously. Like, you know you can't pull this movie out. You can't pull the movie. And here you go in an audition. But I do know that we are getting a new Wonder Woman, though. We don't know who it will be. But all I know, it will be somebody that can act. But I do hope that they go further than Wonder Woman and they actually kind of give us an idea on Nubia. Oh, y'all don't know who Nubia is? She's another version of Wonder Woman. She's she's an Amazon. She's an Amazonian. And in the stories from 1973 to 1979, she was depicted as Wonder Woman's long lost twin sister and rival under the influence of Ares. So it all comes back to Ares at this point. But I really wish they would do something with her, like make a movie about her. And plus get an actress that will look like her, that looks like her. Same skin complexion and everything. We need a dark-skinned woman to play her. I'm serious. Dark-skinned woman to play her now. Now, to be honest, Snyder Cut version was a waste of money, basically. Fans were originally demanding the movie after the theatrical release of the Justice League that had been botched by Joss Whedon and the studio. Fans were calling for the Snyder Cut. Now that term meant that they want to see the movie restored before Warner Brothers removed scenes and added scenes and even brightened scenes in post-production. Now, even though the 2017 version, the colorful version, was not that great, it was not that bad. It was not that bad. And for the fans to be calling out for the Snyder cut, not knowing what you were gonna get, because you thought you were just gonna get just the same movie, but just with the other scenes that they removed. Yeah, you got that, and you got more scenes that did not even come to the plot, that did not even come to the plot, basically. You know, come close to the plot. That's what I was trying to say, y'all. Like, what was the purpose of the Martian Manhunter scene? And then some of the other scenes that was in Synder cut. What was the purpose? Like, I was confused in that movie because what was the purpose of having those scenes? Then they wanted to see that. They wanted to see the Snyder cut. But Zack Snyder's Justice League ended up, it wasn't what they wanted, basically. Instead, Warner Bros. Gave Snyder an extra $70 million to complete his vision, and that doesn't even include the cost of marketing. Now, a few people think that it's a complete waste of money, and they said that it was nothing but HBO Max promotion. Well, first of all, who's gonna watch a 4-hour movie in the theater? And now y'all know y'all gonna be like, well, y'all watched Avengers Endgame? No, I did not go to the theater and watch Avengers Endgame. I waited. Thank you. I waited. But my thing is, everyone is still calling for Snyder to come back. Snyder, please come back. Snyder, we need you. Gunn is ruining the DCEU. Please come back. Please come back. What y'all want him to come back for? What y'all want Snyder to come back for? He didn't do. It wasn't all that good when he was there. What y'all want him to come back for? Like, seriously, why do we need him back? Why? Yeah, you can say DC is supposed to be like dark and everything. Okay, yeah. That's one thing they can be dark. But also, you can't have dark all the time. You can't have dark and gritty all the time. Sometimes it's acceptable for a movie to be dark and gritty, but like Justice League, this movie, it shouldn't have been that big of a I want to put it. The 2017 version was fine. It was okay. Yeah, it had its flaws, just like every other movie. But you can't say that Snyder Cut was better than 2017 version. Because when I'm watching a movie, I can kind of understand the plot when I get further in the movie. When I get further in the movie, I can kind of understand the plot. 2017 version Justice League, I understood the plot. Snyder Cut Justice League, I did not understand the plot. Like, the plot was all over the place. Because first of all, there was too many added scenes in there that did not go with the plot. And the plot, basically, in the 2017 version was basically get the boxes back, keep them from Steppenwolf, and stop him. from overtaking the earth. And then what was the point of putting Superman in that dark, in the black costume? What was the point of putting him in that? Because actually, there's really no point in that. If you think about it, there was really no point in that movie for you to put him in the black Superman costume. And I will say this, Snyder fans are very delusional. I surely did say it. I sure did. Because there's no way you actually sit up here and think that Snyder fixed the Justice League. There's no way you actually think that Snyder fixed the DCEU. When you know good and well, if he was still over it, there's no way that that DCEU would be progressing. There's no way that it would be good, basically. Because you're going to have the same movie, just a different title and different characters. Dark, gloomy, gritty. Gloomy, child. Why I say gloomy? Gloomy. That's what you're going to have if he was still over it. I'm sorry, but Snyder fans are just delusional. And I like now it has been rebooted. Even though some people had their reservations about James Gunn, I did too. But seeing Superman and everything, I'm excited to see what James Gunn has in store for DCEU. Because I will always say I'm a Marvel and a DC fan since I was little. Like, I've always been a Marvel and DC fan. If you listen to my episode about Spider-Man No Way Home, you would know that I always had to have something dealing with Spider-Man, basically. I remember I had a Spider-Man table with the chair and everything. Like, that was like my table. I did like drawings and everything on when I was little. So, good times when I was little. Now, whew, child. But I will say this. Cyborg. The stuff with him, the scene where he helped the struggling mother was amazing. Like, Ray Fisher, actor you are, amazing. But we will address the racism that Ray Fisher endured from you all. Because there was no reason for y'all to sit up here and send racist comments towards him. And he also accused director Joe Wheeler of abuse and unprofessional behavior while filming Justice League. Now, this is all allegedly. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. So we're not going to say, oh, yeah, he did. The person did it. We're not going to say that. But like I said, some of y'all were sending racist comments towards him. And there was no reason for y'all to do that. Y'all need to realize people have feelings these days. Y'all really need to realize that people have feelings. And you're getting mad at an actor who is just doing their job. It's crazy. You're getting mad at an actor for doing their job, but what are you doing? What money are you bringing into your life? I'm just wondering. Because I pulled up an article about all the racist conduct he faced too. It says a new profile in the Hollywood Reporter, Ray Fisher opened up about Justice League and the racist conduct that transpired on the set of the film. In an intensive news report from the Hollywood Reporter, Ray Fisher goes into specific detail as to his experience working on Justice League and dives into how director and writer Joss Whedon treated the actor. When Whedon took over the film from its original director, Zack Snyder, Fisher told the Hollywood Reporter that he had to explain some of the most basic points of what would be offensive to the black community. Whedon's version of the film significantly cut out Cyborg's story, which was originally intended to be the heart of the film. In the profile, Fisher detailed that after Whedon sent out his initial rewrites, the cast received an email from Whedon in which the director asked for questions, comments, and for some praise. Fisher later revealed all he was looking for was for some praise. Fisher also detailed a point of contention between Fisher and Whedon about Cyborg saying his signature line in the film, a line made famous from the cartoon Teen Titans series, "Booyah," has become synonymous with Cyborg's character. While the studio and Whedon wanted Cyborg to say the line in the new cut of the film, Fisher pushed back. The Hollywood Reporter wrote that Fisher thought it played different in a live-action film than the animated series, and he thought of black characters in pop culture with defining phrases like Gary Coleman, "What you talking about, Willis?" or Jimmy Walker's "Dynamite." Gary Coleman, "Different Strokes." Jimmy Walker, "Good Times." Boom, bad, there we go. As no one else in the film had a catchphrase, he explained it seemed weird that they only to have the only black character say that. And I'm going to stop right there for a moment. Yeah, I get what Ray is saying. But I feel like we as the fans probably would have enjoyed hearing Cyborg say his iconic line, because that is a line that we all know. We've all known Cyborg to say that. I wish he could have said that, but I understand why he did not say it. But see, everybody else in the movie did. We don't know. We haven't known them to have any catchphrases though. I don't know. But getting back to the point, it said while Fisher complained to executives at Warner Bros. About the line, he eventually shot the tape anyway, although not without inappropriate comments from Whedon. The Hollywood Reporter detailed the day when Fisher shot the line where Whedon stretched his arms out and said a line from Hamlet in a mocking tone. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounce it to you. Fisher reportedly was not happy with this remark and said to the director, Joss, don't. I'm not in the mood. Joss, get a name. According to Fisher, Whedon called out to the actors as he left set, saying, nice work, Ray. As the GL reported a few weeks ago, the original iteration of Justice League, Snyder's Cut, made its way to HBO Max after massive fan demand. Fisher seemed pleased with the new version of the film, specifically the restored cyborg arc. He shared to Twitter, and I quote, as a black man that grew up with an absent father, hashtag cyborg story has always hit differently for me. Family and reconciliation are some of my biggest takeaways from hashtag Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's not just a comic book movie. It's a study of human condition, end quote. Okay. Now, so that was going on all behind the scenes. And as of now, he's not playing Cyborg anymore. Like he has said that he's not playing him anymore, because I think he's under new management, so he's not gonna play Cyborg anymore. Even though he was great at Cyborg, I liked him as Cyborg, and for Cyborg was supposed to be the main heart of the film because he connected with the motherboard, basically. And for him in the 2017 version not to have a big moment in that movie is kind of crazy. So I do applaud Zack Snyder for telling Cyborg's story. I do applaud him on that. But I'm not gonna lie, some of y'all fans were a little racist towards him. Yeah, some of y'all were a little racist towards him. But it's okay. Y'all, it's okay. Y'all do what y'all want to do. Y'all go do it anyway. Now, let's talk about how Zack Snyder had a bunch of other stuff planned for the Justice League if he was still in charge, basically. The Riddler was the villain of Ben Affleck's Batman 2. We all saw the Riddler in the new Batman, this version of the Batman with Robert Pattinson. He was supposed to be a villain in Ben Affleck's movie as well, because there was supposed to be a Justice League 2 and 3. As it says it right here, because I had to come with receipts to make sure I get an accurate thing. This is after 4 years, the long-awaited and nearly mythical director's cut of Justice League will release on HBO Max, boosted to 4 hours and entitled Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's a tremendously exciting time for fans of the DCEU and Zack Snyder, but it is tempered a little by the knowledge, child, That ain't me. People don't know how to type. But it's tempered a little by the knowledge that the movie's story would end with a cliffhanger. Justice League was meant to be the first part in a planned trilogy of the DCEU movies. Fans may never see Justice League 2 and 3, but storyboards detailing a potential plot for these movies have recently surfaced along with some mind-blowing revelations. So like I said, Riddler was supposed to be Ben Affleck's Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman villain too. The Riddler was supposed to be the villain for Ben Affleck's Batman. Then Dr. Poison, we saw her in Wonder Woman, the first one, survived Wonder Woman and lived a century later. In both Wonder Woman movies so far, Diana vanquishes the main villain, but the secondary villain disappears. In Wonder Woman 1984, Cheetah slips away, and in Wonder Woman, fans never discovered the fate of Dr. Poison. Justice League 2 would have answered this question as it reveals that Dr. Poison escaped to the forests of Brazil, and she continued her obscene experiments on humans and used her Ares-given expertise to keep herself alive for well over 100 years. The Green Lantern Corps arrived too late. One of the most fan-pleasing moments in Justice League was the cameo of an alien Green Lantern during the ancient battle with Steppenwolf. While fans still don't know if the Green Lantern Corps will make any further appearances in Zack Snyder's Justice League, the original plan was to have the Lanterns make their full entry into the DCEU in Justice League 3. There will be at least 2 Earth-based Green Lanterns, possibly Hal Jordan and John Stewart, but at this point in the narrative, Darkseid's armies have decimated the Corps and turned Earth into a nightmare. Seen in Batman vs. Superman, the arrival of the surviving Corps members will prove vital in the final fight against Darkseid. Then you got the Legion of Doom. At the very end of the credits of Justice League, there's a stinger that shows Lex Luthor's escape from Arkham Asylum and his meeting with Deathstroke, where Lex comments that they should have a league of their own. This was a reference to the Injustice League or Legion of Doom, the alliance of villains led by none other than Lex Luthor. The post-credit scenes make it seem like Justice League 2 was going to ditch the Darkseid story entirely, because if you remember, after they killed Steppenwolf, and I before I even get into that part, Steppenwolf's his new design in Snyder's cut was amazing. I will give the Snyder on that. He does a good job sometimes. Sometimes. But anyway, we're going to ditch the Darkseid story entirely. But according to the storyboards, this was always the plan. And at the end of the sequel, Lex Luthor and the Legion of Doom would have been revealed as working for Darkseid. The Legion would have consisted of Lex, Deathstroke, Riddler, Orm, Black Manta, and Dr. Poison. Then Batman gives his life to stop Darkseid. Oh, now that would have been something. The overall story of the planned Justice League trilogy was the invasion of Earth by Darkseid and the armies of Apocalypse, and how the DC universe rallies against this ultimate evil. A lot revolves around Lois Lane. Aside from the information she has, Darkseid deliberately kills Lois to drive Superman to despair, but Batman saves her while catching most of Darkseid's Omega Beam blast himself. According to storyboards, in the final battle of Justice League 3, a dying Batman sacrifices himself to destroy Darkseid, much as he did in the iconic Final Crisis comic story. Okay, now that right there. Now that right there would have been something. Would have been something to see Batman give his life for Lois Lane. Oh, now I would love to see this one, y'all. The mascara gets destroyed. One of the biggest parts of the planned Justice League saga was the fact that Lex Luthor's Legion of Doom essentially wins at the end of the second movie, allowing Darkseid to control Earth. The saddest fate is that of Wonder Woman. While other villains have less than perfect results, Dr. Poison's revenge is total. Right after Diana finally returns to Themyscira, Dr. Poison's infiltration of the island allows her to unleash a chemical weapon. Diana, all the Amazons, and everything on Themyscira is destroyed, at least until Flash manages to go back in time and undo things. Now that, right there, that could be something. And you know what? How about James Gunn brings Zack Snyder back? Hold on. And they put this on. This trilogy. It can be a mixture of light and dark. If you get what I'm saying. If you kind of see how everything going, if you kind of see what I'm trying to put down. If you had all these storylines planned for this trilogy, then why not do it now? Go back, you and James Gunn, y'all put on a good trilogy. Well, the other two movies. Y'all put that on and y'all do what y'all do best. That's direct. I'm not gonna lie, Zack Snyder is a good director. He is, but I feel like he overdoes it a lot in the movies. Like he overdoes it a little bit too much. Then The Lost Kingdom of Atlantis. The original teaser poster that revealed Aquaman in the run-up to Batman vs. Superman had the words "Unite the Seven" on it, referring to the seven kingdoms of Atlantis. The first six kingdoms, Atlantis, Exabel, Fisherman, Brine, Trench, and the Hester. Check out, I be butchering stuff. All appear in Aquaman, but the seventh was only described as the Lost Kingdom, as it was meant to appear in Justice League 2. According to the storyboards, the Lost Kingdom is called the Unseen, and the movie was meant to begin with them staging a full attack on Atlantis, as they do not accept Arthur as their king. Another story I would like to see. Now this one says the Flash goes back in time. One of the most surprising moments in Batman vs. Superman occurs immediately after Bruce Wayne's nightmare vision. In the center of the movie, where an older armored Barry Allen seemingly speaks back through time and warns Bruce about Superman and the importance of Lois Lane. Justice League 3 was supposed to explain the context of this. As Barry is sent back through time, Terminator-like, while Earth has succumbed to the nightmare, Barry gets a second message to pass to Batman, who this time manages to stop Darkseid from killing Lois and enslaving Superman. with the anti-life equation. At this point, the future of the DC universe hinged on Barry Allen. Okay. Then this one is there is another lost Amazon. Child, how many Amazons could be lost? One of the first images for Wonder Woman was a picture of Diana and three Amazons on the mascara. Antiope, Hippolyta, and um, Menelipe. Menelipe. I probably said that wrong. Who cares at this point? While the first two are important, Menelipe only Menelipe 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 only makes a small appearance, but she is meant to be far more pivotal. In Justice League, Diana wasn't just supposed to immediately know about Steppenwolf and Darkseid, but Menelipe was actually supposed to lead the mascara and tell Diana in person. She would be instrumental in helping Diana return to the mascara in Justice League 2. Her role may yet get expanded in the Zack Snyder Justice League, but at the moment, the only other Amazon to leave Paradise Island is Astria, as revealed in Wonder Woman 1984. Oh, now this one is a messy child. This is messy right here. The son of Batman. Possibly the most shocking revelation in the storyboards is the fact that Batman is supposed to die at the end of Justice League 3, despite Zack Snyder already established that Ben Affleck's playing older Batman near the end of his career. Possibly equally shocking is Bruce's planned relationship with Lois Lane. After Clark dies, some audience may see hints of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Lois even falls pregnant with Bruce's child in the epilogue to Justice League 3. His son becomes the all-new Batman, similar to Batman Beyond or some of the future comics of Damian Wayne. Child. Now that one right there, I wouldn't want to see that one. Because why would Lois get with Bruce? Was Aquaman not available? Like, what you mean you getting with Bruce? Like Bruce who? Like, was Aquaman not available? Or Hal Jordan? He had somebody. Or somebody, John Stewart, anybody. They wasn't available. Like, all right now. All right. I'm just saying. That would have been messy. But I can say that I would have liked to see some of that. I would like to see some of these stories. I feel like they can do this now. All you gotta do is just put James Gunn and Zack Snyder together. Y'all do what y'all do. Cause they can make a movie now. They can make movies. Zack, you don't be doing all that long mess. James, Gonna be doing what you be doing, and we shall be good. Okay? All right. And who knows, maybe Zach might come back. I don't know. And him and Gun go work together. I don't know what's going on, child. But anyway, that is all the time I have for y'all today. And normally I would say tune in next time for another episode of the Christian J Show. But it's the season finale. I'm taking a break after this season is done. I'm taking a break. Enjoy myself, enjoy my break before I drop another season. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to this episode and past episodes and this season and last season and season before that. Thank you. Tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary, like I said at the beginning. I'm forever grateful for each and every one of y'all for listening to my little podcast. And I'm excited about I'm excited to see where next season is going to go. Because I can give you a little sneak peek on the next season. It's going to be on true crime. I can tell you that. It's going to be on true crime. So, if you're a fan of true crime, yeah, this will be the podcast for you. And this will be the season for you, too. And like I've touched on true crime before, last season with Ted Bundy, he will be talked about again. And possibly John Wayne Gacy. And everyone knows how I feel about the Menendez brothers. Y'all know I have said that they need to be free. Yeah. Not only will I be talking about the killers, I will be talking about the victims. So yeah, I will be talking about the victims. The Menendez brothers, they are the victims, okay? They're victims. All right. And I am pleased to announce that some more seasons are coming soon. And I am going to announce them right now. So, if I can find it. Okay, I got it. The next seasons of the Christian J Show will be the Christian J Show, The Crime Chronicles, which is the true crime season. Then the Christian J Show, I'm Black and I'm Proud. So, baby, I'm celebrating everything black. I'm celebrate everything black. Okay? Because I'm black and I'm proud. Don't play. Then, the Christian J Show, Hello God, I Need You. That is the Christian season. I feel like it's time for me to do that. Do a Christian season, Christian podcast season. And because I feel like we all need God. We all do. No matter if you believe in him or not. We all need him. Okay? Then, after that, we have the Christian J Show, Mental Health Matters. And I'm going to be speaking about all people's mental health. Women's mental health, men's mental health, which always goes unnoticed. Men's mental health always goes unnoticed. Because we as men have always been told we're not supposed to show emotions. We're supposed to buck up. We're supposed to suppress everything. We're supposed to be the men. We're not supposed to be a little bitch. Yeah. I will be discussing that. And then the last one is the Christian J Show, Greek mythology. Now, I've always been fascinated with Greek mythology, so I'll be talking about Greek mythology. All right. So that is all the time I have for y'all today. Thank y'all so much for listening. And I'll see you next season. Holla.